So, did you hear the one about the cruiser who got arrested after her cruise on Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas? All for being a fraudulent cruiser? Well, that's the big story today on The Cruise Show. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I'm your host, Tony B, here to talk you through everything that's going on in cruising. Let me invite you to subscribe. Go ahead and hit that like button. Now let's talk about the big story. The big story for today. Let me tell you about a woman who has allegedly used stolen credit cards to book her dream cruise vacation. And the interesting thing is she got to take the dream vacation, but when she got back from her cruise, she was arrested in the port of Miami. This is the story of Alexis Moore. She's from Raleigh, North Carolina, 31 years old, and she has been arrested and is being held, allegedly charging $22,425 on 2 stolen credit cards. Moore was arrested a couple days ago by Customs and Border Protection at 11 a.m. at the port of Miami after Royal Caribbean had reported that she used 8 different stolen credit cards to book her cruise vacation. When she was arrested, U.S. Customs and Border Protection did find 4 stolen credit cards on her person. Now, she was in court yesterday to hear the charges against her. She does face 8 counts of grand theft, 8 counts of fraudulent use of a credit card, and 4 counts of unlawful possession of a stolen credit card, according to the county records. I guess the silver lining for Moore could be that, well, it was a nice cruise vacation with a nice itinerary. Puerto Rico, Labadee, St. Thomas, some pretty cool stops, but this may be her last cruise for a little while. Again, these are pending charges. Everything is alleged, but man, that's a commitment. That is a commitment to your cruise vacation. Look, we know that crime doesn't pay. That is what McGruff taught us. And so let this be a cautionary tale that if you do the crime, you may do the time, and you could, well, fool around and find out. Another interesting use of an F word. It brings me back to the story we talked about yesterday. A couple corrections here. I was talking yesterday about Carnival brand ambassador John Heald's cruise called the FFS cruise, and I made some question as to what one of the F stood for. I did not know there was a official John Heald F usage, and apparently it is for fun's sake. The middle F is fun. That is what has come out officially. I mentioned the wrong year of that cruise. That cruise is happening in February of 2024, and you can book that cruise right now. However, the events that you have to sign up for to be with John Heald, those signups don't go up until August. That's what I was talking about. Sorry about any confusion. And also another clarification around the Carnival stories. Yesterday, I talked about Behind the Fun coming back, and I said that you can book that online through your cruise planner. I was incorrect. I read that wrong. You cannot book it through your cruise planner is the big takeaway. You have to book it when you are on board. I do have another news type story I want to talk to you about. This is about traveling and drinking iced coffee, but I want to give you a couple updates. If you've noticed, I've been constantly experimenting with the sound and the video here in the new office space. I'm having such a blast in the new office space. I did really like the way that this microphone sounded yesterday, but you guys thought the mic was too big. Maybe it's because of the where it was at, but I'm gonna use these for podcasts or whatever. It's a Rode mic. Somebody asked what kind of microphone it is. It's a Rode Pod mic, but I've had these mics for a long time, especially when we were doing more podcasting back in the day, but I haven't used them very much. So you may see more of these mics, but I thought the sound was good yesterday, but today I brought my boom mic back from the house to get it set up. So hopefully the sound is okay today. I have been doing a lot of experimenting with the physical look and the physical sound of the show while I'm trying to get it dialed in. But I also want to work a little bit on the branding of the show. For the longest time, we've talked really in the context of cruise news. I've tried to make it a cruise news show. But like Dylan said, the times they are changing, and the cruise news is not necessarily as important as it was during the pandemic. And so while I want to keep everybody up to date with the cruise news, I really am trying to transform this 10 minutes every day into something that gives you a little bit of everything when it comes to cruising. So that may be some cruise drama. I'd like to sneak in a cruise tip or two. I would love to answer your question. If you have any questions, leave questions for me in the comments. I'll try to highlight those and save them and maybe use them on the show. You can send your questions in an email, tony@lalitaloca.com. You can send me an email there. So I'd really like to transform this into a 10 to 15 minute conversation about things that are happening in cruising, answering your questions, giving you some tips, that kind of thing. And of course, touching on the cruise news. So I'm going to try to move away a little bit from the cruise news language. That was such an important search term when we were trying to get more and more people the information out there that was coming through the show. I would say cruise news a lot so that people would get to the video, but that's less important these days. So I really would like to start rebranding it and rethinking about it as a cruise show. So I just want to give you the heads up on that. There's a lot of you guys that are longtime faithful. I appreciate you guys. Man, we just hit another big milestone, 213,000 subscribers. We're marching our way forward, and I'm very excited about that. Somebody asked me in a live stream last week, we're kind of cutting back on group cruises. Is this the end for La Lita Loca? Certainly not. I just want to say it publicly. I hope to do this for as long as I can, until I die, I guess. And so this is what I want to do. I want to continue to create content around cruising. I want to continue to travel. And I guess that's a good segue to talk about the big cruise that I just booked a couple days ago. This is a cruise on the Regal Princess to the British Isles. I'm so excited. June the 1st, 2023. It starts in Southampton in the UK. It goes to the Channel Islands. It goes to Cork, Ireland. It goes to Dublin. It goes to Liverpool, England. It goes to Belfast. It goes to Glasgow. It goes to Kirkwall. It goes to Edinburgh. It goes to Le Havre, Paris, France. This is going to be a great cruise. It's the 1st through the 13th. And another exciting aspect to this is I booked it at the exact same time as Para DJ. I know a lot of you guys watch Para DJ out there. We cruised together on a Disney cruise ship. We made our way through Disney together. And so now we're going to make our way through the UK together. And then I've also sent this information to my friend Don Terrace. I don't know if he's going to be able to go on this cruise. You guys know I love traveling the world, but Don, it would be so cool if Don and I and Para DJ could go take the UK on this British Isles trip. And so that's June the 1st. Now, I do have a couple cruises coming up before that. This weekend, we are heading out on the NCL Prima for one of our group cruises. It's going to be Jenny and I and 100 or over 100 people doing some group cruising. And excitingly, Jenny and I were able to turn that Prima trip into a side-by-side cruise. So when we get off the Prima, we're going to go jump on another cruise ship to celebrate our 20th anniversary. We just had the actual date, but we weren't really able to travel. And so now we're going to put a cruise right after our Prima cruise, which is exciting. And then the other cruise that I booked was the Sharon at Sea group cruise on the Carnival Spirit in Alaska. And that is also coming up in June. And we're trying to talk my brother into going on that. So there's a lot of fun cruising stuff going on, and that's barely scratching the surface. I still have April and May open. I don't know what I'm going to do in those months. I'd like to get back on MSC. So a lot of exciting stuff going on, a lot of exciting things that will help inform the show, and a lot of exciting stuff, hopefully, that I get to share with you guys on some level. So that's the show update. That's the cruise schedule update. I do have a programming note for tonight. This is Tuesday, the 28th of February. There is a public live stream tonight at 6 p.m. on this YouTube channel. Jenny and I will be talking cruising live. We also have a Patreon live stream exclusively for people who support us on Patreon. If you guys would like an extra live stream or two a month, you can go over there to Patreon, patreon.com/LaLitaLoca, and join the Patreon. $5 a month, you get some extra access if you like. But if not, of course, the show will continue to be here free on the daily basis. Okay, one more story. This is a travel story. I'm hesitant to call it a cruise news story, but the challenge is a lot of times when I go on cruise ships, I'm always looking for some iced coffee. And if the cruise ship doesn't have a Starbucks, it's hard to get iced coffee in the same way that you do on land. If you go to a coffee house and you say, I'd like some iced coffee, most of the time they're going to give you some brewed iced coffee and they'll dress it up any way that you want. But on the cruise ships, a lot of times you have to ask for something like an iced Americano, or you have to ask for an iced latte, and it's not exactly quite the same as an iced coffee. And so as I was poking around looking for cruise news stories today, I found this travel story that you can now get iced coffee on board Southwest Airlines. Now, I like this. They're serving a prepackaged iced coffee. You can see here it's made by Community Coffee, which is a good coffee. And I fly Southwest quite a lot. They have a nice person of size policy. I love it. And so I'm excited that as I start to book flights for my trip to Seattle, I'm not sure who I'll fly to London. I'd be surprised. I probably can't fly Southwest to London. But yeah. Iced coffee on board. Are you somebody out there that loves iced coffee? Do you struggle on the cruise ship? What do you order? Leave that comment below. And I'd love to hear what your favorite airline is for domestic and international. If you're in the US or if you're from a foreign country, who do you normally fly? Now, I'm sure many of you are wondering, will this newly branded cruise show have a punishment at the end of the show? Yes, it will. It seems like a lot of people like the punishments. I put the punishments at the end of the show. That way, if you don't like the punishment, you don't have to listen to it, obviously. It hurts me because, you know, when people leave the show early, that's not good for the show. But I feel like enough people like the punishment that it's okay if not everybody listens to the punishment. And also, you know, I just don't want people to take it too seriously. I've heard some people say, oh, you're threatening me or you're cursing me, or that's not it at all. It's a fun way every day to make up something silly that if you don't hit the like button. And so it's, you know, no harm, no foul. Please don't take it personally. But for those that love it, I hope you do love it. And I'm going to continue to come up with punishments on the daily. And a lot of times I just do this off the top of my head. I just try to go right from the show into the punishment. And so let me say this. Did you enjoy the show? Are you looking forward to the new changes? You can show your support for the show by hitting the like button. And unfortunately, if you do not hit the like button, I will be forced to punish you. And your punishment will be this. In an attempt to make good iced coffee on cruise ships, well, cruise lines have decided that they can't do it. And instead of making iced coffee, they're going to make no coffee at all. And so, look, if you do not hit the like button, cruise lines are going to remove all coffee products from the cruise ship. And, well, none of us want that. I haven't even had any coffee today, and I keep looking over to this Community Coffee. I may have to run out and get some coffee. Thank you so much for checking out the show today. This is Tony for La Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.